I think we will, if anyone has questions on this topic, we're available. Anything? Yeah?
Yeah, so in his first term, President Trump talked a lot about his complaint that other countries were paying much less for prescription drugs than we are. That's still the case today. I also talked to Robert Kennedy and asked him about working with you guys on prescription drug prices, and he said everybody wants lower prices. What do you think are the actual prospects that the second time around that you can actually get something done where Ozempic is much cheaper in China, much cheaper in other countries, and more expensive here?
So we have made it very clear we will seek common ground when we can, and if they want to work with us on not just, as Senator Welch pointed out, taking these next 15 drugs and making sure they get negotiated to the degree they were with the Biden administration, we want to work with them. We'd like to expand the number of drugs. That'd be great. If they want to work with us on a bill to include all the drugs, that would be good. But we haven't heard that from any Republicans in the Senate, and in fact, they voted, every one of them voted against the prescription drug negotiation bill that we had, and a number of other votes that were similar in the past. We will stand our ground when it comes to protecting the American people and accountability, and that's what this is about today. We have already seen some bad signs with the executive order when it comes to, say, a pilot for $2 generic drugs for seniors. We've seen things coming out of the Ways and Means Committee of the House, which actually would undermine and mess around with the existing prescription drug negotiation program. So there will be, I'm sure, a lot of questions of that nominee when it comes to prescription drugs. But in the end, when President Trump was in the last time, there was a lot of talk about prescription drugs, but there was no action. What did Democrats do? Against all odds, with a very small margin in the U.S. Senate, we actually passed the bill to finally lift the sweetheart deal that pharma had gotten for 20 years. So they want to work with us, fine, but I'm telling you right now, it was the Democrats that brought the action. It's the Democrats that are going to stand up to them. And if the last week is any sign, the golden age seems to be about some golden boys. And so we would really, really like to make sure that this extends, that this is about affordability. You want to? Yep.
And building off of that, even if you are able to get Republicans on your side on this, there's still no guarantee that the president will actually take the bill and put a signature across it. So at this point, is the concern more so in action from the Trump presidency on the future prospects of drugs, or is there the fear that he could do something to roll back on the efforts that he already won?
Right. It is on both ends, right? Inaction would mean that we're not going to get the negotiations we want. This was a huge amount of work by Secretary Becerra. This was a huge amount of work by the Biden administration. Can you imagine negotiating with these pharmaceutical companies, some of the biggest companies the world has ever known? And also at the same time, even with the negotiations being done and baked in, they are suing in 10 different jurisdictions across the country to undermine this plan. So this is going to take the Trump administration fighting those lawsuits. It's going to take them negotiating these drug prices and making it a huge priority of theirs. And then it's going to also, if you want action, we've got all kinds of actions we think they should take. So it's going to be on both fronts. Clearly, the status quo isn't what we want it to be, but the trajectory for the drug negotiations, when the first one showed 60, 70% in reductions, we should be doing this for all drugs. And if they're ready to join us on that, great. I don't think we're seeing those signs at all. We're seeing the House trying to undermine it. Do you want to add anything, Peter? Okay, anything? I think that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you, Senator.
Hey,
Thank you for your leadership.